Don't be afraid, they're gentle. Here's DC News with Comic Book Man and Bo.
I'm gonna have to plant a patent leather pump right in your ass.
DC News, episode 41, perfect permission position.
Hey folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
DC News.
That's right, DC News. And DC News is coming to you from Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics are 15% off every day for everyone, including DC Comics and the return of Death to the DC Universe. That's right. Neil Gaiman's Death from the Endless is coming to the DC Universe. And she's setting up shop, and she's going to have a lemonade stand, and she's going to sell lemonade to all the kids. And she's going to be in Tiny Titans afterwards, and finally in Looney Tunes.
She and Lex Luthor are going to sit down and have a nice long conversation in Action Comics number 894. It's going to be an issue of all conversation. There won't be any fist fights. Nothing's going to explode. They're going to talk about life.
Are they going to be walking and talking like someone else I know?
They're going to be sitting.
Order a lot of those.
Sitting and talking.
Order a lot of those comic book bags.
Paul Cornell basically, he said he wanted to have a situation where he wanted Lex Luthor to encounter non-Superman villains. He said, "Well, I want him to meet Death." And DC said, "Well, how about the Black Race?" And he went, "I don't like that idea. I think why don't we use Death, this Death, Gaiman's Death?" So he talked to Gaiman, and Gaiman said, "Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. It's cool." And so he has the permission. It'll be popping up, and it'll be the only time you see Death in a mainstream DC book ever again.
Oh, bull.
Well, who else can you hang out
They're
with?
tearing the walls down between DC and
those
Vertigo.
walls are gone. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it won't be the only time you will ever see that. It'll be the only time for this year that you'll ever see that until they decide to have her show up in Scooby-Doo next year. And have a long talk with Shaggy about all those
the pot he's smoking.
all those Scooby snacks he's been eating.
He's smoking.
And how they're cancer causing.
He's smoking.
Next up, JSA. JSA's got a Mark Guggenheim thing coming up in October. He's taking the book over.
Guggenheim is taking over Justice Society in America in October. He was supposed to come in and do a fill-in arc within. Bill Willingham said, "You know,
take the book over.
I'm done with the book." So, now his plan for the book is kind of interesting. His plan is you're going to have in the first issue. Guggenheim's plan is you're going to have villains show up and destroy a city.
Great.
The Justice Society is going to show up in the city
and say, "What happened?"
They're going to decide to rebuild the city.
Oh, that's nice.
And they're going to establish the city as a space for superheroes. It'll be a society of superheroes all living in this town.
Rent control. Rent control.
Now, the roster of the team will be Dr. Fate, Lightning, Flash, Green Lantern, Wildcat, and Mr. Terrific, but the idea is this will be a city in the DC universe in which DC superheroes hang out and live.
Sounds like Astro City to me.
It belongs to the DC universe. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Well, good. Okay. But knock down those walls, too, between Wildstorm and the DC universe. Have the Silver Agent show up in Flash.
Aren't they one of the 52 worlds anyway?
Yes, they are, as a matter of fact. I think they're 51. I think they're number 51. This book here, Green Lantern Corps, has got a new person starting in number 53.
Tyler Kirkham is going to take over the book. He signed a DC exclusive. He used to work over at Top Cow. He signed an exclusive. He will be joining Tony Bedard on Green Lantern Corps starting with 53 in October.
Yes.
DC had a bunch of announcements this week about new people taking over stuff, including something I didn't give him, which is Nicola Scott's going to be taking over the art on Teen Titans when J.D. Kroll takes over. So
that's
people
jaw-dropping.
So people will actually go, "Hey, I like this book."
That's jaw-dropping news. That absolutely is.
Speaking of jaw-dropping,
I am nonplussed.
This October.
Yes. Happy Halloween.
Vertigo is going to basically create this, and it's not going to be a long line because there's only so many books that Paul Levitt's put on the shelf. It's called Vertigo Resurrected. It'll release stories that were canceled before being released. And the first story...
Why were these books canceled?
Paul Levitt stuff. They were a little violent. He didn't like them. He didn't want the books printed up. Okay. The first thing we will see will be Warren Ellis and Phil Jimenez's Shoot, which was a Columbine-based story, and it was supposed to be Hellblazer 141. Ellis handed in a script. The thing was drawn. It was handed in. Levitt said, "I'm not publishing this." Ellis said, "I don't need you guys. Screw you," and he left. They're going to be publishing a whole bunch of Vertigo stuff that Levitt did not want printed because Levitt is no longer around. And so all this inventory stuff will finally see print.
Excuse me, Mr.
Yes,
Mr. JR in the back row. In the back row.
Can I help? Yes. Your question. Yes.
I have I can't get in there. I have a question.
Yes.
Though.
Yes.
Why is it better now to publish it? What makes it better now? Why is
because
it okay?
Paul Levitz isn't running the company anymore, and so they don't need his permission.
So his judgment apparently was not so good.
I wouldn't go that well.
Okay, JR, let me explain this to you simply so you understand it.
Yeah,
Okay,
in terms
they've
even
got a handful of books that they can make money off of, so they're going to make money off them.
Oh, I get
Right.
it now.
These books, these are
It's a cynical decision.
these are inventory books that are
It's an editorial decision.
they're sitting in a warehouse, and then someone wanted and said, "Why do we have these 6 or 8 books?"
Does that mean that the Elseworld story where the baby's going into
Yeah.
microwave?
Oh yeah, because that's one of the books that Ellis did. Well, yeah, the Alan Moore story. Yeah, the Elseworld's 80-page giant.
You stick around.
That'll be seeing print.
And you may remember this. I'm not sure, but wasn't there a Swamp Thing story about Christ on a cross? And I'm not
Yes.
making
That
a joke.
was
Wasn't
also
there a
available.
Swamp Thing story about Christ on a cross that got yanked?
Yep.
Way back before Vertigo existed,
Rick
when
Veitch.
Swamp Thing was still in the DC universe, and that was one of the stories actually that created Vertigo in the first place.
That is correct.
The Christ on the Cross story. Well, that was back. Swamp Thing was doing a magical mystery tour through history, and he went back to World War II, and he met Sergeant Rock, and he went back to the 1800s and met some cowboys, I think. And at some point along the way, he stopped off in Judea in 33
And became the.
And I don't know what happened there.
He
but-
became the cross
He
that
was the
Christ
cross
was nailed up
Jesus
to.
hanging
The only
Yes.
place he could get a meal was at the Last Supper.
and Paul Levitt said, "I don't think so."
Now, like I said, there aren't a lot of these things out here, so it'll probably be like 6 or 7 issues. But you're talking about stuff from Ellis, you're talking about stuff from Azzarello, Alan Moore. All this stuff's going to be coming out starting in October.
Okay.
But the first thing is Shoot, which is supposedly a hell of a story. In fact, when they let Ellis know, Ellis goes, "Well, they still own it. But they didn't let me know they were going to reprint it. But I guess that means I get paid for it again."
Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe. Anyway, that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more DC news this time around. But you can go to the store's website and check out all the DC news that he sends me that I post up and where's the store's website at, Bo?
Sarah knows.
www.morealternatereality.com.
Thanks, Mickey.
So stop off at the store's website and check out all of the DC news that he sends me that I post up. And until next time, this is, who am I? Oh, Bo Cephas. And this is
Comic Book Man.
saying bye. Bye. The hero of the month this month at Alternate Reality is the Star Spangled Avenger himself, Captain America. That's right, all my Captain America trades are 25% off all month long. Hardcovers, softcovers, masterworks, essentials, everything that's a Captain America trade paperback is 25% off all month long here at Alternate Reality.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.